and welcome back to another episode of the Practice Players Podcast. We are here with David and Daniel, of course, and Dedan Thomas Jr. And welcome, DJ. If you want to talk to the viewers a little bit, just give us a little backstory about your career and where you began.
I grew up, born and raised in Las Vegas, went to Schofield, went to Liberty High School, which is literally like 10, 15 minutes away from UNLV, and then ultimately made the decision to stay home. I just felt like this is the right place. This is where I'm meant to be at. So yeah. Mm.
And speaking of,
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I was just gonna say, speaking of Vegas high school basketball, I mean, Gorman dominated that landscape for I think it was like 9 or 10 years, and then you led your team, still the younger player, broke that streak and won a state championship. So what was that run like, sort of ending a dynasty in the sense?
I mean, ever since I was younger, growing up here, going to high school games, I just watched them just kill everyone every single night when I went to their games. And I just got a little sick of them winning every year. So I just wanted to be different. So I just wanted to beat those guys and do it a different way.
Yeah, we didn't have that much success. We didn't have a lot of impact on the game, so we would go to those games, we'd sit on the bench. We just didn't impact it, in between the four lines. Yeah, they Isaiah knows about it. They kind of took care of us when we were all in high school. Not fans.
Yeah,
over here.
I was at a few of those games actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
All I know is that year, it was the year after Dave and Nick graduated. Had COVID not happened and we had a season, I think that would have been the year that we would have gotten it done, because Jaden Hardy and Frankie Collins would have carried us to the promised land. I wouldn't have done anything. Like I said, I don't know how much impact I would have had in that setting, but they would have definitely maybe led us to that. But DJ, I wanted to talk about your dad for a moment, also your younger brother, who both are point guards. It's in your DNA. Can you kind of talk about like the influence that your dad has had on you and your success so far throughout your career?
My dad, he's been my trainer, like my best friend. I spent the most time with him in the gym, in the house, just chilling. I mean, we've always had like super tight relationship, but definitely wouldn't be where I am today without him. So I'm just really blessed to have a dad like that in my life. So I just got really lucky with that.
I wanted to talk about your decision to reclass up for going your senior year of high school and coming to UNLV. What kind of went into that decision?
I was playing AU that summer. I was having fun. I was playing really well. But I just felt like I was at that point where I was just ready to take the next step and go to college. I just felt like I was ready. And a lot of people don't know this because I actually got hurt. I think it was May. I got hurt 2 days before I was gonna commit to UNLV actually that weekend. So I broke my foot. I committed 2 days later. I was like, I might as well just go to college early and just get ready and just start rehabbing my foot and just get my body ready and stuff. So I just felt like it was the blessing in disguise. So yeah.
Yeah, and obviously in college now you're watching a ton of more film, different breakdowns as compared to high school. But for you personally, what player do you model or try to model your game after? And I'm really hoping you give the answer I'm looking for here.
Sorry, the
Before you
whole
answer that, hold on, DJ. Before you answer that, his favorite team's the Knicks. So just to preface who his favorite player is. So both lefties, both undersized guards. I don't know.
I mean, I watch a lot of Jalen Brunson. I'll say that. That's definitely probably my top two favorite point guards to watch. In front of him is Chris Paul. Chris Paul is my favorite player. So, but I've also tried to put a lot of Jalen Brunson's game into my game because I just love the way he plays. Love how he can score in multiple different ways. Uses his body really well, and he can just score and just on all three levels. So I watch a lot of those too.
Yeah, so for all our bettors out there, we can't promote that on this podcast unless FanDuel wants to throw us a sponsorship. But sounds like all Mountain West first team, DJ Thomas. Whatever the line is, take it. If you're watching Brunson film, it's going to be good.
You had a great freshman season, obviously looking to make the next step next year, but talk a little bit about some of your favorite memories this past season.
Definitely, when we talk about favorite memories, it comes to mind that we had one a few weeks ago, actually. That last game in Seton Hall, the night before, we got stuck in the elevator for an hour and a half. That was an experience. I'll never forget.
Yeah, I don't know if I did I even tell you guys about this? So we all thought it was a good idea to load the entire UNLV men's basketball roster plus Larry, who was there on a business conference, into an elevator. We got stuck in it for an hour and a half. Like it was bad. Scary.
How hot
Fire
was it?
department. It had to have been at least 100 degrees in there.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It was
we just
it
played
was
a
bad.
game.
And we were getting ready to go to practice, so our practice got cut short. I think that's why the line changed. I don't know if you guys paid attention to the line, but it was like 2.5, and it got moved to Seton Hall minus 6.5. I think some reporters got word of it, moved and told people, and it got out. But yeah, we basically didn't really get a shoot around the night before, but it was bad. Fire department had to be called. We were all drenched in sweat, getting ready to go to our practice. It was crazy.
Now, when you say Larry was also there, are you referring to Larry Johnson or a different Larry?
Different Larry.
I think he's referring to Larry the Cable Guy. Am I correct on that?
Might have been.
It might have been. He just said he was Larry. That's just
Okay.
he was like, I'm Larry.
He was a cool
Okay.
dude too.
Yeah, he was cool.
Basis. I thought you were talking Larry Johnson. I was going to say.
Well, we learned that about each other. We thought we were going to die in there, so we asked him some questions. We had our fun time with Larry.
A lot of confessions in that elevator.
I thought he was going to go on more of like going into a sold out New Mexico, giving Jalen House 25, winning that. I thought he was going to go that route. That was my favorite DJ moment. Just being able to talk shit to all the fans that were in attendance, didn't know who this kid was, and just giving Jalen House the work.
That was definitely the funnest game of the year, for sure. Oh yeah.
My favorite would have been when we would have beat San Diego State in double overtime. If you would have made that buzzer beater 3, that was bad. I thought it was so cash. I'm sure you guys watched the game.
I was in our locker room, our Oregon locker room, before not Oregon locker room. We were at the hotel before the game because actually it was the day of our championship too, and I was watching with like Key and a couple of the other guys, and they just felt like support UNLV because like I support UNLV, so they didn't really know what they were watching, but they knew we were for UNLV. And when you had the shot, our entire team stood up. And it was I didn't even know all people behind me were watching it because I was watching on my phone. But there were 5 guys huddled behind me watching it. So that game
it was, and he had a game tying layup at the buzzer before, and it should have been an and one. He got literally got bro, it was crazy. Made that, went to OT, had a great look to tie.
That was wow.
It was fun. It was fun. He had for every game winner he missed, he had at least 5, senior night, dagger. What was another one? I mean, the New Mexico, I think you just had 25. Did you have any other?
He just had 25, Nick.
Just 25 was Jalen House first team all defense in the conference?
Yes, he was actually.
Okay, so just 25 on first team all defense in the conference as an 18-year-old freshman.
Pretty good.
All right, we'll move on to the next question.
Well, DJ, now all of us in here can say that we've played in the NIT, which is a unique experience because you host postseason games, which doesn't typically happen in college basketball. So you guys went on the road for a couple games and then you're able to host a game. What was that experience like, and did that experience almost motivate you to make the big dance next year?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it definitely gave us like an idea of how actually hard it is to make the tournament too. Because even making the NIT was a lot of work, and we definitely earned to be in the NIT. So I think we made the most of it. And traveling to New Jersey, back and forth twice, that was I think we did pretty good on the road. Uh, especially going to New Jersey. Those are long flights, dude. Those were really long flights. But we made the most of it, and we learned a lot.
Yeah, it was rough. Those, I mean, so we packed for New Jersey the first time. We packed for like a week and a half because I don't know if many people know this, but Boston College was supposed to host that game. So we were planning on winning at Princeton, going to Boston College, hopefully beating Boston College, and then going to Seton Hall and just staying there for like a week and a half. And then Boston College basically said like, nah, we want to come play you guys at your place. And so we got to fly home, host the game, which was cool. That was probably the loudest the Thomas and Mac had gotten all season, maybe other than senior night, but it was crazy.
Mhm.
And then going back to New Jersey the second time, those are 6 hour flights, like, and
Legit
we
6 hour
didn't fly
flights.
we didn't fly private, like we flew commercial, we had middle seats, like it was not fun.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
And speaking on stuff that might not be a lot of fun, DJ, I've heard that Nick had your number all season in one-on-one. So I don't know if that's true. I don't know if you want to argue with that, but from my sources, he had your number. So why is that?
I think he shot maybe 35% from the field against me this year. Um, I mean, at first, the first few weeks, he was hitting every shot. Then he started to die down, stopped scoring on me. Uh, I just found a way to contain him. So I don't know. I don't know who your sources were, but they were clear. They were really false. Definitely false.
Where do I even begin?
How about you begin with I can't go by you, DJ, or you're really
Oh,
locking me up,
okay, so here's
DJ.
what I'm gonna here's what I'm gonna go here's where I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go in a different direction. That was a good idea, but I'm gonna go in a different direction. Uh, I did I did have your number, and I would just dial the phone, call it in. What do you want? Hit you with a little Kobe turnaround fade. We'll insert a clip here. I got some clips. Don't worry, I got some clips. Um,
Wait, you have clips?
oh no, I have clips. So I have receipts. Yeah, they will be posted on our reels for the listeners on Instagram and TikTok. It won't be too bad. Don't worry. I won't do the one where like I made you fall, hit, touch earth. I won't do
You
that. I won't
did
do that
make.
one.
You never made me fall. That's
Okay, okay, okay.
he's
I
gassing me.
did. I've hit him with some, too small. I've hit him with some of those. Never really did take him to the rim, but I would hit some tough followaways because DJ's like 5'8", so I would just hit him with the too small, and
Wow.
I'd move on, go about my day, go about my business. I did seem to have most success against DJ throughout the season.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
Nick,
I
let
honestly,
me pose a question to you. If you had so much success against DJ, why wasn't that exemplified within the four lines during the season? Because DJ had a lot of success in those four lines, but given the way you're talking right now, I figured you'd.
Well, okay. I mean, if you compare per 36s, I mean, my stats aren't that like different. You know what I mean? I averaged half a point per game, an assist, and half a rebound. So, I mean, factor that into a per 36. I averaged 2 minutes a game. So, do the math. What is that? 12 points per game, 24 assists, and 12 rebounds. I averaged a triple double per 36. Yeah. So, I mean, it's on the staff. I was a bit of a daredevil, so the staff really didn't mess with my attitude. I had a pretty poor attitude. Obviously this is all jokes, but yes, I did. End of the moral of the story. I had most success when DJ was guarding me all year.
yeah, I gotta give it to him though. Nick did some. He had some nice moves against me. I can't lie. He had some nice moves against me.
It wasn't just him though. Like, so we would play one on one before every practice. Like, you had to get us stopped before we actually started practice. Like, I would hit some guys with some shots. Coach Coop would always like reference like pull it out the bag. I would pull a new move out of the bag every day. Um, Moving into our next question though, I'm sure all the listeners want to hear this. Now that I'm out of the loop, retired as a Rebel and now a fan, and I look on Twitter and I see a bunch of rumors about DJ Thomas entering the transfer portal. Kind of elaborate on that.
Um, I had no idea what was going on with Twitter that day. I woke up one morning, had 100-something notifications on my phone, called my mom, called my dad, trying to ask him what's going on. Because I don't have Twitter. I'm not on Twitter. But uh, but yeah, I just asked him what was going on. Someone just started a rumor that I was going to certain schools. Yeah, just to clear the air that that's all false. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
Well, now that you
Love
say
it.
that, you can, shed some light. You guys had a great season this year. Had a 20-win season. Had your first postseason win for UNLV in the last, I think, 16 years. Am I right on that? I think
Yep.
I'm around that. So just kind of talk about the goals for the upcoming season and where you guys want to be.
Definitely number one goal is to get to the tournament. That's definitely gonna be the main focus this year. Just win as many games as possible, and just win a conference tournament. Those are my goals this year, as well as the team's goals. So there's been a lot of talk about that in the locker room. Even though it's just us five in the locker room right now, we're all talking about it right now. So that's our biggest focus for this year.
And how do you guys plan on executing on those goals with key departures such as senior guard Nick Walters?
I mean, it all starts in the summer. We got to recruit some good practice players. Someone's got to fill the Nick's big shoes. He's gonna leave a big hole for our program. We're gonna have to find someone else to go out every day and practice with. So yeah, so he'll be missed, but we'll definitely find someone better than him. But yeah,
That won't be too hard to.
won't be too hard.
Love it. Let's get into storyline of the week. We're gonna talk NBA playoffs, playing games, and first round matchups. What we're kind of looking forward to seeing. Obviously, I don't know if the viewers know, but I am a Lakers fan. So I'm looking forward to the Lakers winning on Tuesday, going into Denver, and
Sweep.
might see the Brooms. I don't know though. Depends on how the Kings feeling. But we can also talk about Thunder getting the number one seed in the West, and the Knicks getting the number two. What are we feeling?
Definitely an interesting year. But I don't know. I feel like one of the older teams just have too much experience for these younger teams, man. I don't know. So it's up in the air right now for me.
Yeah,
Dan?
I think I know where Dan's going right now, and I'll just let him take the floor. For the audio listeners, he has now put on his Thunder jersey, Chet Holmgren, and he's excited for the first round matchup.
Well,
I don't know why he's excited. No, I'm going to cut you off here. I don't know why you're excited. You're going to have to play Steph Curry or Zion and Brandon Ingram or Fox or the King.
Well, let me just put it this way. We're the second youngest team in the National Basketball Association, and we just won probably the toughest Western Conference in the last decade. So for all these teams saying, you're too young, you have no experience, we've already broken all the status quos. We're still underdogs in this. Yeah, we're the one seed. Everyone's still counting us out, though. If we play the Lakers, we're going to lose. If we play the Warriors, we're going to lose. If we play the Suns, well, not anymore. But, at the Lakers, it was the Lakers and the Warriors. Everyone says if we're going to play them, we're going to lose. We're just going to go out and play. And I have confidence. And I think if we win that first series, we're going to win the second series. I think we can beat Dallas and the Clippers. Now, if we play the Lakers, I'll give it to Nick. That's probably the one team I'm really worried about, just because we can't match up with AD. But I'm confident. in our group. I mean, we won the West for a reason, so that's my bias on the Thunder. But just know we were number one.
I
All
will
right.
say, go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, Dave. Before I get into.
Yeah, because this might take a minute. I'm just going to say, unlike Thunder fans, I will speak on behalf of all New York Knicks fans. We want the smoke. Cleveland, Milwaukee, they tanked. They didn't want the 2 seed. They were scared. Miami, Philly playing, arguably second, third best teams fully healthy in the East. Have to play them as a 2 seed round 1. Bring it on. Jalen Brunson, All-NBA first team, surrounded by the perfect pieces, shooters, defense, heart, grit, chemistry. That's what wins in the playoffs. I'm not coming up with excuses. I don't care if it's LeBron. I don't care if Wilt Chamberlain resurrects himself and pairs up with Embiid. Doesn't matter. Knicks winning that first series, upset in Milwaukee, and then I'll be realistic. We'll probably lose to Boston, but in a good 6 or 7 game series, and that would be a hell of a year.
Is that a realistic, like, if you make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, are you content with how the year went?
Yes.
Obviously, you want to win the whole thing, but
Eastern Conference Finals without an All-Star, we'll take it. Now, if Randall was healthy, New York City might have got burnt down when they won the chip this year, but we'll see in 2020.
Brunson wasn't an All-Star. He was an All-Star, I thought. Without an All-Star. Never mind. Okay. What about Nick? What's your confidence level with? What's your confidence level with LeBron? Because when you said Laker fan earlier, for people listening, he's a LeBron fan who just claims he's a Laker fan. Because if LeBron's on the Heat, he's a Heat fan. If LeBron's on the Cavs, he's a Cavs fan. So, what's your opinion on how LeBron's going to do in the playoffs? I'll put it that way.
LeBron's going to do what he does every year. He's going to take care of business. I could see a different, like, outlook for LeBron. He might take a more, like, I don't know if you guys watched the game today, but he had 13 assists at half. He had 10 assists damn near in the first quarter. We might be seeing AD needs to get up 25 shots a game. LeBron gets up 20. If AD can give us 35 plus, we're going to be in a good spot. I think AD can average 35 in a playoff series. I think he can. And I think the Jokic, well, first let me talk Pelicans, because obviously we just manhandled them. Wasn't even a game. Probably going to do the same thing. If we don't, it's fine. We'll see the Thunder. But if we
Nick,
do,
you're going to have to probably beat the Warriors at home, which you guys couldn't do a few nights ago, right?
Without Anthony Davis, let's not forget that. Plus, every team that we've played in the past season really decides to have their best players rest for the games before, play against the Lakers, and then rest the games after. I don't know if you guys have noticed that trend. Brandon Ingram was out for a month.
Excuses.
Just came back today. Still won. Clay and Draymond both missed games leading up to that game. Played in the Lakers game, then sat out the next game against the Trailblazers. Now, they did play today because they needed to win to try and get the number 9 spot, which they couldn't end up doing. But so let me ask you, Dan, you're not afraid of the Steph Warriors? Like, is that, because I know you said you're kind of scared of the Lakers. If the play-in game to get the 8 seed is Pelicans Warriors, are you worried that the Warriors might come steal a spot?
Well, here's what I know. I've been an OKC fan since I was about 8 years old. The Golden State Warriors have always been on my mind for as long as I can remember. But they're just only getting older, and we're only getting better. So no, I'm worried about the Lakers. That's the only team I'm worried about. If we get the Warriors, I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
Okay, all right.
Because
we just gonna disrespect
we beat them 3 out of 4 times during the regular season. So if we can just do what we did in the regular season in the playoffs, I'm not worried.
Are we just gonna diss Sacramento though?
That's true.
Yeah,
We shouldn't count out Sacramento because they're
It'd be a sad year if all these Western Conference teams are in the playoffs and there's one of no LeBron or Steph and or both. If there's no LeBron or Steph in the playoffs, I don't even know if I'd watch with the same mentality. Like NBA, like I don't know, and
Some
like
fans might almost think it's refreshing because they get to see new players.
Okay, well, I'm not one of those fans, so we're going to talk about my perspective. I love NBA playoff basketball, like almost as much as March Madness, and I love March Madness, but I love NBA playoff basketball. If I see an NBA playoffs with no LeBron and no Steph, like I don't know how like I could get excited about it.
Jalen Brunson.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, MVP of the National Basketball Association. We'll find out here pretty soon.
I was gonna get into that because now that he has the one locked up, is he the MVP?
I want to see how he looks. I want to see how he looks this year in the playoffs because this is his first year really like being like one of the faces of the league, and he's the 1 seed. So I want to see how he looks in the playoffs.
I mean, so what? He averaged 30, right?
Yep.
Again,
he's gotta do that in the playoffs. I need to see like a shit because everybody knows your best players take more shots, they play more minutes in the playoffs. You need these wins. Is he gonna average 30 in the playoffs? Like he needs to average 30 for the Thunder to get wins. Chet needs to probably average.
I don't know about need because we were top 5 offensively and defensively, and J-Dub and Chet also provide big boosts. So I don't know if he needs to average 30, but I think as a fan, looking at what he's done the last couple of seasons, I need him to average 30.
Okay, fair enough.
Like to have that expectation. I do, and I'm not.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because if he's the MVP, which I believe he's the MVP, he was the number 1 seed on the best team in the Western Conference. Boston was the best team in the league, but the West is a tougher conference. I think everyone in here outside of Dave would probably agree with that. I think, yeah.
Wait, that's a discussion?
He does need to average 30.
It shouldn't be.
I don't think he needs to average 30 for us to win a series. But I think for him to be the MVP, he should average 30.
Because don't they do like obviously the MVP is like a regular season award, but don't they like kind of like look at that first series and they're like, do they kind of do that, or am I just like tripping?
You're tripping.
It's all regular season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Right,
if they did that, then Lamar Jackson wouldn't have won MVP because the Ravens always lose in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like
where
did Anthony Edwards
come from?
Ooh, are we that Timberwolves Sun series? That's going to be a good series. All this talk about which McDaniels brother? Is it Jaden or Jaden? Is it Jaden McDaniels? Yeah. He's supposed to be the KD stopper. That's going to be a fun series to watch.
Well, let's just say I'm Jaden McDaniels' biggest fan these next 2 weeks because I still have and will forever dislike Kevin Durant for what he did. So I'm a big Timberwolves.
Biggest Kevin Durant hater hasn't gotten over what happened 8 years ago on July 4th. On July 4th, 2016.
Ruined your July 4th, huh?
Yeah. Remember where I was? I'll say it for the viewers. I was at a Utah 4th of July parade with my family, and I had about 6 or 7 missed FaceTime calls from my like really close friends at that point, and just a bunch of texts, clowning, memeing, whatever you want, whatever the words that describe how that day went. And I think I remember going back to my grandparents' house, and just like sitting at a blank wall for like 30 minutes, just being like, "Wow, that really just happened." So
I remember him saying at some point,
"Scars you."
So. He said that was one of his darkest days, being a basketball fan. Was that your darkest day? It might have been.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because that year we were up 3-1 on a 73-win Warriors team, 1 win away from an NBA Finals, which a lot of analysts and people had us winning that. I mean, even if we didn't win, just to get to another Finals, it's But did the weakest move in sports history. What's there else to say? That's what he did.
What are the other matchups in the playoffs? Isn't it who the Pacers got?
Milwaukee.
That's gonna be good because Pacers had their number all year.
Yeah.
They did, and they beat them in the in-season tournament, from what I remember. I think.
Yep,
I
they
want to see.
did.
I want to see Halliburton in the playoffs.
And you guys remember that like game that the Pacers won, and Giannis had like 62 and wanted the game ball, and Halliburton like just like kept it or whatever.
Yep.
That there's some.
Yeah.
I think I'm
Bad
excited.
In that
I'm
series.
excited. I'm excited for the Magic and Cavs because the Cavs clearly tanked to get the 4 because they were like, all right, we're gonna see Boston if we want to see Boston first, we'd rather do it first. They think they're just gonna beat the Magic, then get Boston and try and get Boston a fight. But the Magic have been sneaky 5. Like they've always been like, oh, they always draft a rookie in the top 8 pick and just move on from there. But they got a sneaky squad.
Yeah.
Let me bring up a question about Boston. Boston is the favorite, right? Like they've been the best team in the NBA all season. It's Boston versus the field, right? Like that's the consensus. So
who's going to knock them off?
Is there if Boston doesn't win this year, are there any pointing fingers at,
there's gotta be
work? Is Missoula
if there's no injury? If there's no injury, you can start a dialogue. But if they have an injury, that's different.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they have to.
They don't win
it. They have to win it. They have to win it. They were supposed to win it 2 years ago against the Warriors. They had a much better team, in my opinion. I mean, the Warriors have the playoff experience, but the Celtics
I'd agree.
had a much better team. I think they're clearly the favorite now, but I don't know, dude. I mean, Jason Tatum had a statistically awful finals when they played the Warriors. Like if I see something like that again, I'm going to be starting to look at Jason Tatum a little bit differently. I'm not a big Jaylen Brown fan either. Like I love the left hand memes that get put out there. I love it. But I don't know. I don't know if it's like me being a Lakers fan for the past 6 years has made me hate the Celtics. I hated the Celtics when LeBron was on the Cavs too. I've just never been a Celtics guy. But yeah, I think they do need to win. If they're fully healthy, they have to win.
Do you hate reading past the first page of a book too?
Yeah, when I start a book, I generally don't finish it. What else? When I start a storyline video game, generally don't finish it. Start a TV series, generally don't finish it. But like LeBron, I win championships in the process. So.
What level did you get your ring on?
Yeah.
4.
No. I mean like high school, JUCO, college.
Oh, what level?
Yeah, championships.
Is it up there? I actually won an AAU tournament senior year. They gave us a ring, so that's the only ring that I got.
That counts. It counts.
Ring's a ring. You take it.
I have a state one, by the way.
Yeah, he did what we all couldn't do. I get it. Liberty.
Thanks.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was. I'm just glad it wasn't Coronado that did it. Not gonna bring that up in the podcast.
That's a discussion for another time.
Yeah, that's another time.
Well,
does anyone have?
I'll bring up one more
ahead.
thing before we go. Everyone, give your team in the playoffs that you think is going to surprise people, whether that's your lower digit seed or higher digit seed win a couple series, and don't pick your own team. It can't be.
Yeah. That's what I was just gonna say. Don't pick your own team.
Ooh.
We'll start with DJ as our guest, and then we'll go around.
Not gonna lie to you, I can see the Clippers get into the conference finals, or possibly get to the finals. I just think they have the experience, and they got Kawhi, PG, Harden, and Russ. I mean, that's them four alone. That's just, jeez. Yeah, I got the Clippers. That's my surprise team. Even though I'm a Lakers fan, but yeah.
I just think that's a good choice because nobody's like picking them. Nobody's like, ooh, the Clippers are gonna like. They're just like, someone's gonna have a bad series and it's like gonna be the end of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this is gonna surprise some people because where they're at, but like I think the Timberwolves have the tools to make a run, but I don't know if that's surprising. Like they're the 3 seed. I don't know if you expect that, but I mean, Ant had a Ant had a pretty good series last year against Denver. I mean, beat them, which the Lakers couldn't do. Uh, yes, I'll admit that, but beat them in one game, not beat them in the series, obviously. But I think they have the tools to do it. Rudy's been in the playoffs for a couple seasons, and I think Ant is like eager to take that next step. And beating the Suns with all those guys would be a good first step to do it.
That's
Go
actually
ahead.
I was also going to pick Minnesota, but I'll switch my answer now. It's a good pick because I think even though they're the 3 seed, they're being severely undervalued. I think everyone's just saying, "Oh, Phoenix is going to win." They have a big 3 of Booker, Beal, and KD, but Minnesota's been the best defensive team in basketball all year. So I think Minnesota is definitely a team to watch out for if they win that series. I think that they would be able to beat Denver with their size of 2 bigs to potentially stop Jokic if that's who they would play. I'm going to go with a team that's always in this like conversation, and they do it every year regardless of who they play. I'm picking the Miami Heat. It doesn't seem to matter what and whether they play the Knicks, whether they play the Celtics, whoever they're going to play, they're going to give a series. I mean, every year we do this. They made the finals last year as an 8 seed. Eric Spoelstra in the playoffs is unbelievable. Tyler Hero's healthy this time around, and I think they have pretty much the same core. Jimmy, Bam, they add Terry Rozier, another player who's shown that he can play in the playoffs. So I like Miami, and whether they play the Knicks or the Celtics, I think they're going to give either team a series. And I think if they win that first round matchup, they're in position to make the NBA Finals. I think for them, their toughest matchup will be the first round.
Well, I have 2 here. The first one, it's more of a long shot. I wouldn't be shocked if Miami wins and Chicago wins. Chicago upsetting Philly, depending on Embiid's status. I feel like that'd be a shocker in the play-in. And then for an actual series, I think DJ was on something beautifully. I think the Pacers can upset Milwaukee. Giannis probably isn't going to be 100%. He's going to rush back for the playoffs because you have to. I could see the Pacers upsetting the Bucks, and I would be enthralled because that sets up a lovely path for the Knicks to the ECF.
Like I love how you say like we went dark horses and you were like, yeah, they're gonna definitely like give Milwaukee a shot and then just get thrashed in the semis by the Knicks.
Upsetting Milwaukee in the first round would be a major upset.
You're right. You're right. I don't think it's that major anymore. It would have been if he was fully healthy. But I mean, we've seen this before. Giannis gets hurt right before the playoffs, during the playoffs, and it just completely deteriorates their whole team. They do have Dame now, though, so I mean,
I was just going to bring that up. Dame definitely.
You know what Dame did to the Thunder back then.
Yeah, who actually, and well, let me now address how that has look at us now, 5 years from that. Kind of blessed that he did that because then we kind of blew the whole thing up and look where we are now. So I now thank Damian Lillard for doing that because they just got bounced in the conference finals that year, or was it the next round? Actually, no, it was the conference.
I think yeah.
So you're thanking him now, but what were the words of
actually? Well, now look where Portland is now. So look where we are now, and look where Portland is now.
That's true. That's true.
You're thanking.
That's fair enough.
But what were the words that you were using for him 5 years ago?
I don't know. I don't really remember that time. That kind of just brainwashes out of my mind because now I look to the horizon and I see Shea and I see Chet and I see J-Dub and I see our multitude of draft picks and I say, well, we have a bright future.
You didn't mention Josh Giddey in there. Any reason?
I think he's a good player. He's not who we're going to build around though, but he's a good player.
I would hope not.
He's got a lot of. Average a game this year?
Like 12 to 13. I mean,
interesting number. Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear.
Well, wow. We'll end it there. DJ, thanks for thanks for coming on, enjoying a little banter with us. Appreciate you for having a blast.
I appreciate you guys for having me on here. Hey Nick, I'm gonna need you to stop by Mendenhall sometime, but we need to play 1-on-1 because I've never played offense against you.
We can do that, brother. I'm not gonna run. All right. With that being said, PPP out. Peace.